My name's Ben, I'm the founder of Brakeboard. This is a quick video to show you how to tune your rat. When you get your rat from the factory straight out of the box, it should be set to a light braking. The idea is that if you're a beginner, the brakes won't be too powerful for you to control. Now there are a couple of ways to increase the power, because as you get better at riding with brakes, you will want more power. So here are some tips of how to increase the power. The first, you'll need to get a standard skate tool. Get these from Amazon for a couple of dollars. The paddle bolt, as such, on the side, and pull out what we call a plunger. Plunger comes in two parts. You've got the plunger body and the plunger pivot. To increase the length, you add a couple of 5mm or M5 washers. The longer the plunger, the higher the pedal will sit, and the higher the pedal, the more leverage you get on the brakes. So simply put it back in. A little bit of grease on the plunger shaft helps as well. And simply put it back together with the nylock. Tighten until there is no rattle, but still enough movement in the pedal. And you'll see that there should be a slight improvement in the brake performance. But probably the most important way to improve the braking performance is to adjust the distance between the brake rotor, the stainless steel component, and the brake lining. This one, naturally they're set at about 1mm. That's about as far out as you would want. You can get them as close as 0.1 of a millimetre and still have it free spinning. So the closer they are, the better the results. So simply take off the wheel nut. Right, it exposes the axle and spring. Hear my child screaming in the background. A little bit of but grease on the shaft here helps for the movement of the rotor. Now to loosen this axle, it's actually been fitted with 2-4-3 Loctite. This is designed to be undone with normal tools, but I'm finding that it's a little harder than that. Using a wrench such as this might damage it, so you need to loosen the glue. The best way is to use a benzo torch like this. These aren't cheap. I hope you can find a friend who's got one. Another way would be to heat it on a gas stove. Make sure you've got gloves, etc. And you need to just heat this part of the axle here, because the thread's in here. Make sure when you heat it, you don't heat the bushings, they will melt. Simply just about 5 good seconds will loosen the glue. Grab an adjustable wrench. Just do like half turns, quarter turns at a time. Place the wheel back on. You can see I've gone too close, so they're actually touching. You'll find that the rotor will sit slightly not straight, and it kind of sits on the levers and tilts it forward slightly. So you look at the top edge to gauge how close they are up here, and if it's touching, just wind it out quarter turn at a time. That's still touching. Okay, that's very close. It's about 0.2 of a millimetre at the top edge. It's about a not credit card, but a business card thickness. You can get feeler gauges which can help measure it, but eyeballing it's fine. Just if it looks close, it's still free spinning. That's the best it could be. It does have a washer on the outside. Your nylock on the top. You can actually spin the wheel on the bench and turn. You're putting a bit of pressure on the bearing. You can see it's not turning. You even find that the wheel core will actually flex a little as you put pressure on, and actually pushes the lining a little closer, so if you find the gap will close. So yeah, it's too tight, just back it out until it's free spinning again. It's essential that there is no movement at all on the axle, so there's no sliding, because literally this brake part only moves about 2 millimeters at the maximum. If this has got movement in it, you're losing all that power. Okay, the third thing you can do, which is, I call it a hack, because it's literally a hack, is to modify the conical bush. Now the reason for that is there's a very limited room for the levers to move. They push and balance straight down, and in some cases if you've got the axle really tightened down, it's expanded the bushing and it limits how far the levers can go. So one trick is to cut a flat face on the conical bush. You place a flat face up towards the levers and it gives you an extra 2 or 3 millimeters travel, which is actually a lot, and will actually give you a far better braking performance if you do this. And finally, which will almost treble your braking power, is to add the extension pedal in this. Simply, the Rat comes with 2 pre-prepared threaded holes. The set of the extension pedal comes with 2 screws designed for the Rat, plus it comes with another screw designed for the previous generation trucks. Just simply place it on. The longer one goes at the forward hole, and the rear is the shorter of the 2 screws. Here are the Australian flyers in the background. You would need to get an Allen key. It's a metric Allen key for a M6 screw. Tighten, not over tight. If you're concerned about losing through the vibration, some Loctite 243 will be good on those threads, but otherwise they're fine. And you'll find this wheel, as you can see here, it just locks the brakes up very easily. I actually ride with one of these constantly now because I'm so used to it after all these years. But for a beginner, I don't recommend it. But as you get more experienced and you're used to where to step on the board, particularly the Rat, you stand riding up here and you step forward. I find I step partially here on the deck and then lean into the brake like that with my foot. But you find it's very powerful, so be very careful with that. I think that's everything other than basic tension of the hangers, obviously the kingpin adjustment. That's pretty much everything you need to know.